I think one of my core philosophies on vendors is they're helping me be successful. And so I want to help them be successful. Here we are, episode number 2. Welcome back. Joe and Todd Show. I'm Joe Mathis.
Is it really only episode 2?
Episode 2. It
feels like episode 4.
Well, yeah, 4 or 5.
Long time coming.
Today we're talking about vendors and how to choose vendors.
That's right.
So yeah.
We mentioned that last week that we were going to talk about it, and now we are.
What thoughts do you have on choosing vendors?
Let's just jump right in, shall we?
Choose good ones. So yeah, I just need to say I've got coffee stains all over my shirt from this morning's meeting. Well, not really from the meeting, from your coffee cup that spilled all over me.
That you spilled.
I did not spill that. So I had to go to meetings all morning long, like with people, lots of human beings with coffee stains all over me. Went on a tour of a venue.
My favorite quote of the day: humans are fun.
Yeah, that was awesome. Who said that? I forget who said that.
It was the lady from Neighborhood Jam.
Yeah, we love Neighborhood Jam, by the way. Shout out to Michael.
Michael?
Is that his name?
Oh, the manager guy?
Yeah, he's right there. He's right there somewhere. Yeah, we love him. He's great.
Good guy.
So anyway, so vendors. It's been a long day. I was up at 5:30 to get ready to go. We had a meeting a couple hours away at 8 o'clock. So we kind of been a long day, but this is a fun topic. I love the topic a lot. My best advice for choosing vendors is to choose good ones. How's that?
I like that advice.
I think that's good.
Very good.
Choose very good vendors.
I think my advice would be choose the appropriate vendor.
Oh, cool. So what do you mean by that?
Well, I've learned, of course, not everybody does a great job at everything. So there's vendors that you would choose for, like, as far as AV goes. You know, you may have a conference or something that you don't need fantastic blowout concert quality AV for a PowerPoint presentation. So you're not going to choose necessarily a top quality AV vendor for that event. Whereas you, on the other end of the scale, if you've got someone you're paying $500,000 to come and perform, you want the top quality AV company in the world producing that show.
Yeah, that concert.
So I think different people have different capabilities, and you need to play to those capabilities. That's why we focus so much on vendor relationships, is because we learn what our vendors are good at, and we play to those strengths with who we choose.
I was thinking recently, we're in a crazy spot right now. We have a lot of AV providers that we really like. Mm-hmm. And in some ways that almost...
Is that unusual?
I think it is. I think it really is. I've never had such a great group across the nation. I mean, like, about anywhere I would go, I can find somebody I really like to work with.
I really like AV people in general.
Yeah, I do too. I think they tend to be
mostly because I'm not one of them.
Exactly. Yeah,
and I don't want to be one of them ever.
Yes, me neither. It scares me to do the audio on this podcast, and the lighting's horrible. Yeah. So yeah, no, I think I think we have a lot of companies hitting home runs right now, and I look at in our market, we're on an international market. There's PSAV, which I love PSAV. I think they have a great product. They are traditionally hotel ballrooms hitting home runs every day. One of the things I think I found with AV providers, especially since I was thinking rental companies, but AV providers especially, is having those meetings with them so they know exactly what you're expecting and what's important. I think that's one of the keys a lot of times is how do you know the show's a success? And I think we've had shows where if the lighting is
establishing expectations, right?
The lighting's bad, if the food looks bad, then they didn't do a good job. And other times it's like we've got to hear what people are saying, or like you said, the audio sound. So PSAV is doing great internationally, strong company. Locally, TES, they'll go anywhere. They do a lot in Florida, all over the place.
They're all over the map.
Yeah, they are. They're such a solid, just professional company. They just do things so well.
In a good way. all over the map in a good
Yeah,
way.
yeah. Absolutely. Just good people. Love them. Of course, Cory's AV in Oklahoma City. We really like them. They've been.
We talked about them.
Yeah, they've
on
been
one
a
of our
lot of hotel vendors
pre-episode
through the years. Maybe
podcasts.
Maybe episode 3 actually. We talked about them. Who knows? So yeah, I think they've been traditionally a hotel vendor, and they're really getting out. They bought a lot of new equipment and really excelling. Older company, like 50-year company or something like that.
Been around for a long
Pretty
time.
amazing. And then also
Back when people rented slide projectors.
exactly. So let's think about rental companies. How do you, when you go into a town, let's say we're going to go to Baton Rouge, Louisiana next weekend or something, I don't know. And how do you go in and choose vendors, and especially in a market you haven't worked in before or haven't been to? What do you think is important in choosing those vendors and figuring out what you want to do?
I'd say, I would start with recommendations. Whatever venue you're going to, ask them if they have relationships with vendors in town. But then I would also, once you start talking to those vendors, I'd find out what kind of inventory they actually have. Like, are they ordering in everything from another location, or do they actually have all that stuff in a warehouse out back?
Why does that matter to you?
You've told me it matters.
Good answer. No, I think I think I want to know where it's coming from. If I've got 10 chairs, it makes a real difference to me if it's a couple miles away or if it's coming on a truck from California or whatever. Then I want to know that.
Well, and at least if they don't have it in their warehouse, we want to know that that's a potential.
And I probably should clarify
danger.
By rental companies, we're speaking specifically of party rental supplies, people who rent, banquet tables, chairs, china, dishes, tablecloths, that sort of thing. Most communities have at least one really strong one. We're fortunate in Tulsa; we have lots of them. Oklahoma has great ones. Dallas has really strong ones. Chicago, Oklahoma City. Yeah, there's lots of good stuff around. But yeah, I want to see inventory. I want to see what stuff is. I think back to an event in Mexico. I wanted to go to the back of the warehouse and really look at the quality of what they're providing and what that's going to look like and what they're going to deliver. So, yeah. What are the vendors, like photographers? How do you choose a photographer?
Photographers. I think price plays into it a lot of times with photography, because you can have you really run the gamut with photographers. You can get a photographer for $150, but it doesn't necessarily mean
photographers are like musicians. You can get them for a pizza, if you really
want to.
You really want to.
But then you can also mortgage your house for a photographer too.
Again, photographers and musicians, very, very similar world. And I think you got to almost decide what is it that you're looking for. We have we've often said there are times that a photographer's personality is more important than their photos. Just like your personality is more important sometimes. I don't know what I was going to say there, but anyway.
The ease of working with them is very important for all vendors, I would say.
Absolutely. Yeah. So,
are they easy to direct? Are they humble? Will they take direction and correction? I think that's very important in choosing a vendor overall.
We do work hard to either make mental notes or sometimes physical notes on vendors we use and what we liked about them, challenges, so that if we have one vendor that they're a great vendor, but they're notorious for making multiple trips to the warehouse. They just don't get there with stuff. And so when we want to use those, we have a couple of clients who love them and want to use them. And it's like, okay, well, if we're going to use them, then first of all, we got to plan a long enough load-in day that they can make their multiple trips to the warehouse. Sometimes we'll give them a load list, pack list. It feels like you're hand holding, but again, if that's helping them with their product, I think that's
maybe insist on a run through.
Yeah, I've run through
early in the day.
Certain time. It's like, oh, you need steps for the stairs. Okay, no problem. And I think one of my core philosophies on vendors is they are this, they're helping me be successful. And so I want to help them be successful, and I want to appreciate them. And
Sure.
I've seen a lot of event planners who really take their vendors for granted. And I just, that kind of bugs me, because it's like, I think one of my basic vendor philosophies is I think we've got to remember that they're why we succeed. I mean, if it wasn't for
Absolutely.
the vendors, we'd be worthless. And I think we've got to appreciate that. I think one of my pet peeves is always when I know event planners who just treat them like they're a dime a dozen, or you can find them anywhere or whatever. And that really bothers me. I want to work hard to develop solid vendor relationships. And I think there are times you learn that's not going to work out. It's like any relationship. You click with some people, you don't click with others. It's not going to work out, and you just got to kind of move on. I work really hard to not burn bridges. I have, but I work really hard not to. And but I think we got to treat them well. We've talked before. We try to take care of them, try to be on their side, try to help them, try to make sure they're doing a good job. All those things I think are important. We have a company who did a vendor scorecard on us once, and I really liked that. I thought it was so helpful. And I toyed with the idea before of taking vendors sometimes and just really kind of helping them to be better by saying, hey, deadlines are important to us. When you say you're going to be there, please be there, or whatever it is. Or, hey, you really do this well. And I think there are times that's extremely important to do with vendors. So
Another thing we've implemented is our production meeting.
Yeah, talk more about that. That's kind of cool.
So of course we also maintain a production guide throughout the planning process. But kind of once we have that all assembled, when we're really close to the event, and usually about a week or so out, we'll gather all the vendors together in a room. Sometimes we'll do it at the venue, depending on the space, but sometimes we'll go to a restaurant, or sometimes we'll come to our office. We've done one here at our office, or a couple here at our office. We gather all the vendors that can come. We actually invite every vendor that we have involved in the event, whether we invite valet, photographers, volunteer coordinators,
rental companies, registration.
Yeah, everybody.
Venue people, chef, catering people.
Golf cart rental people. Everybody. And just even if they don't come, they know the details of the event. They know that they're involved. They know that they're being expected to be there, and they're at least aware. That gets them thinking about the event. And then once we are in the room, of course, we go through the whole production manual, talking about the flow of the event, what's expected of them, arrival times, setup times, all those things, so that we can lay out those, like you're saying, lay out those expectations for the vendors to set them up for success.
Yeah, I think I was thinking contact information. I work really hard to maintain cell phones of key people, including owners of companies, that sort of thing, in my phone. And if something's not going like I thought it was going to, I want to text them or call them and reach out and figure out what's going on to help. And I
like talking to the owners.
I do like talking to the owners.
You told me one time you learned that from your dad.
I did. My dad,
good stuff.
He would start at the top and then kind of go down. But sometimes I think we've got to see that we're playing together. And I think of a situation I was in one time where the rental company, I called them and they were actually having a vehicle breakdown. And so I said, hey, we've got a van. We'll send our van to you guys and see if we can get stuff loaded and get it here. And to me, I was kind of like, that's relieving some pressure from them of that make it happen sort of thing, and teamwork. Again, it kind of makes me cringe when people go, oh, they got to get it here regardless. And it's like, well, let's figure it out. Like, what's going on? And I'm also real big. I think of the wedding we did a couple of years ago where our goal was to get everything in the room by Friday night before the wedding on Saturday. And we really wanted to get everything set up. And we had a vendor who just couldn't make that happen. And there was a point where, please, we really want it here. We really want the bride's parents to see everything. But when I heard the distress in the vendor's voice that they really couldn't make it happen. It's like, okay, well, when can you make it happen? Let's figure this out. And it's not a horrible thing that we had to wait till Saturday morning to get this stuff. And I think that's the other thing is like, there are other people's schedules and there's other stuff going on. I'm not the only game in town, I'm not the only kid in the block. And so I want to make sure we're considerate of that too. And just as much as I don't want someone to give grace to me, I want to be thoughtful and considerate towards that. Can you think of any horrible hypothetical vendor bad experiences? Without saying names. I was trying to think of like
trying to remember. I don't know. Can't remember the whole story, but the story of the wrong. They sent the wrong chairs to your event.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that one. I was thinking about the guy we're trying to text
That's
today.
the biggest disaster I've remember hearing about.
The guy we're trying to text today. We have a vendor for an event 3 months out. It's kind of a key part of the whole thing, and we've been reaching out to him for several months. We're not getting the quiet response we want to, and someone in our office has been trying to call him and found out today his phone's disconnected
and website's gone.
So I think it's probably time. I texted him and like everyone who's ever worked for him today.
No response.
So again, I like, especially the week of an event, I want to know that they're feeling well, they're healthy, life is good, they're still in business, all that.
So one of the critical parts of planning, of course, is planning for move in and move out. And a lot of times your venue isn't available, a day ahead of time. Sometimes you got to move in the day of. And, some of our vendors can't do that always. And so sometimes it means you got to look for another vendor.
I know my secret. I just thought of a secret I want to share about vendors.
Go for it.
This is my biggest secret.
Drum roll.
Always have a backup.
Ooh, that's good. That's very good.
So we had a situation a couple weeks ago where I had a vendor. They were kind of being told they couldn't do something by their higher up. It's a large company, and we actually quickly got on the phone and tried to figure out what our options were. And
what happens if they can't do it? What happens?
Yeah. So I think that's my secret to success there. Always have a backup plan. Always know what you can do. And I'm not above going and buying stuff.
That's like a golden rule of planning, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Have a backup
plan B, C. I'm not against buying stuff if I have to, whatever I need to do to make it happen. And I think that's the secret. There you go. Secret right there. Pro tip. Have a backup plan. So even with vendors, I think that's good. Having multiple people that can do something. And I think recognizing the depth, the capacity of people. We love young people. We love people who are new in business and just really getting started. But a lot of times, or sometimes they may have the ambition to do something bigger, but they maybe don't have the experience. And so, there might be something they can do. We can work it in. I think of especially catering companies. Hey, why don't you do this breakfast for 50 people, and then maybe next time you can do a lunch for 100, and then we'll move on to our lunch for 500 or whatever. So absolutely. Any other vendor tips? How about pricing? What do you?
I was going to go to contracts.
Oh, that's good.
Talk about contracts. I mean, not everyone likes to do a contract, but at least something in writing, and just at least an email saying that I'm going to do this for a certain price on this date.
Our attorneys do tell us that emails are contracts. If it's written down with an email address from them, then that's a binding contract in court of law. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I've been told several times. I guess I should act like it's true, but that's what I've been told several times. So you're absolutely right. Just getting people to make sure they've agreed to something. And I really want to know prices up ahead of time. We love to pay for stuff ahead of time. I think as much as we can, if our clients able to do that, that's great. As long as you have a relationship with that vendor, they're going to carry through, do what they say. What else? Anything else with vendors? Vendor appreciation?
That's good. Yeah.
What about it?
Just maintaining those relationships, developing relationships.
Yeah.
We do a lunch regularly with some of our vendors that we just kind of connect them with each other. that helps our business, helps their business, networks them with other people in the event industry. And I think that's helpful in building relationships with between each other.
I try to send thank you notes when we can and do reviews, Google reviews, Facebook reviews, shout out on Facebook to our vendors, and really, again, reminding ourselves that we would be nothing without our vendors. So there you go. Yeah. So if you're a vendor and you'd like to work with us sometime, call us, email us. Yeah, we love you, and we want to see you succeed. We would love to work with you and bring the best for our clients together. No, really. I mean, I think there's a certain element of that we've got to remember, that we are all in this together. And we have some vendors that, give us a commission, and we try to be open with our clients when that happens, or, venues that give us points or whatever. We work really hard to make sure everyone knows that's upfront with that. But that speaks volumes to me, when we've got a venue who brings us gifts, who sends us gifts, and they're not that big a deal, but it's such a thoughtful thing that tells me that we're in this together. And so do that. Yeah, definitely. And if I contract with you, if I work with you as a vendor, please see that as our relationship, and don't try to go around me and go to the client directly, because that typically annoys them and it really annoys us. So
right. There's a reason they hired an event planner, so they don't have to handle vendors.
Exactly.
So
let us do it.
Let us do it.
And I'd say too, if you're a vendor, if you've been our vendor at some point and we did something to bother you or tick you off or whatever, let us know that. We want to be better, and we've all made mistakes, lots of them. So change the world with events, do good stuff. Email us, talk notes on our website, www. like 1990, rumbledrum.com, AOL, no, rumbledrum.com, and it's a dial-up connection for you. So we would love to hear from you.
Fire up the modem.
Joe at rumbledrum.com, Todd at rumbledrum.com. If you are a vendor, especially, please see your event planners, the people who recommend you, use you a lot. I mean, see them as your top salesman. And I think for us,
I think that's a good, actually.
Yeah. Whatever you do, if you're an AV company, let us know when you get new stuff, when you buy new things.
Yeah. So I was going to say, if you got a new product or something you're excited about, we'd love to hear about it. Give us a call, send us an email with an example, or we get stuff like that all the time from vendors.
Yeah.
We'd love to. That keeps us in the know, and it helps us sell you better too.
But don't call us every day.
Does someone call you every day, Joe?
There's that one company in Colorado.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about? You told them to go jump in a lake.
Did I? Oh no. I don't remember that.
It's a really great concept. It's a really great idea, but we know now what they do, and we're not going to use them soon. And you know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah.
Colorado. Got nothing. Sorry.
Yeah. Anyway. So don't pester.
You can tell me later.
Don't pester the event planner with your ideas and your thoughts. We have ideas too. And so, but yeah, definitely. We'd love to hear thoughts. We love to hear ideas in this positively. Sorry, I went down that track, but let's work together and let's make it happen. We're your salesmen. We're here for you. And we want great things for our clients. So do it together. Again, tune in next week. Episode 3 is all about how we charge.
Yeah. Until next time.
Are you going to give secrets away?
But the fun in event planning.
Is it the secrets of charging?
The secrets of how much we charge.
Tell people that.
Why not?
I don't know. Seems wrong. They're our competitors. Have a great week. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.